WNBA, what do I always say? The gift that keeps on giving. And if there's anybody who is welcome to chime in and blast Kathy Engelbert and blast the WNBA for the
WNBA world has been completely rocked by the shocking revelation. Caitlin Clark, the modern basketball star, is in the news, but not because she entered an arena. She is not by herself when she enters the golf course. Along with Sophie Cunningham and Lexie Hull, Clark will compete in Florida's LPGA Pro, one of the world's premier golf tournaments. And you know what? The WNBA is in a state of complete hysteria. Supporters are pushing her to take the lead, calling it the largest crossover in sports history. Because this is a strong statement rather than just a straightforward action.
Clark is getting back on the golf course again this offseason, participating in the Annika golf outing. And she has a couple of caddies that are going to be taking the course alongside her in the form of Sophie Cunningham and Lexie Hull. Sophie and Lexie kind of called this shot, or especially Sophie did, back before when it was first announced that Caitlin was going to do this event.
Sophie Cunningham is one of the 2 caddies that Caitlin Clark recently hired for her next golf competition. If you support Caitlin Clark, please hit the like button and share your opinions in the comments section before we get into this crazy turn of events. If she finds more love and respect in golf, should she quit the WNBA for good? Let's now address the problem that keeps WNBA executives and Kathy Engelbert up at night.
But obviously this is the tournament Caitlin Clark's playing in, the golf tournament. So as you guys can see, Lexie Hull is in fact a guest caddy at this golf tournament. And Sophie Cunningham.
It all started when the LPGA formally invited Caitlin Clark to participate in the Annika Pro, one of the world's most prominent competitions. Nobody could have guessed what she would do next. She immediately answered the phone and made contact with Sophie Cunningham and Lexie Hull. Her message was clear and impactful. An asterisk, let's show them what real respect is all about. She had an open door because to asterisk golf. It's an opportunity to celebrate rather than merely play. In the meantime, she had received cheap shots, mockery, and fouls from the WNBA. Annika Saranam, Nelly Korda, Tiger Woods, and other LPGA greeted her warmly. This young woman is special, they said, despite the fact that WNBA commentators were still disparaging her. And anarchy broke out as soon as the news was announced. As executives rushed to understand what had happened, panic erupted throughout the WNBA offices.
On the golf course at Annika LPGA Pro-Am. So here it says 2 Fever teammates to caddy at the Annika Pro-Am, highlighted by Caitlin Clark's return. Caitlin Clark will again tee it up with Nelly Korda, joined this year by Fever teammates Lexie Hull and Sophie Cunningham as celebrity caddies. This is an article written by Scott Adams.
Reports state that Kathy Angel called her legal team right away and insisted that Caitlin Clark change her mind. If you go to the LPGA, you'll break media contracts, she stated. But Caitlin didn't waver. She merely smiled and gave an asterisk in response. Asterisk. You cannot stop me from shining. Suddenly, the situation reached a nuclear level. When fans started comparing the figures, they discovered something startling. Golf sponsorship revenue has increased tenfold. The level of respect from peers was really high. Viewership was skyrocketing, and the LPGA was already planning unprecedented coverage for her presence. When Caitlin was seen practicing her swing with Nelly Korda in a leaked video, the internet went crazy. That flawless, tidy, and potent stroke went viral in a matter of seconds. The shot that went viral in the sports world was dubbed asterisk by commentators. ISK. LeBron James even retweeted it, saying that Caitlin is now unmatched. Sophie Cunningham and Lexie Hull were standing directly behind her, encouraging her every step of the way.
Golf debut, and it is no fault of hers that I got upset. It is the fault of the WNBA because the LPGA just did everything that the WNBA should have been doing this season. They did it all correct in literally one day. So I talked about it in a previous video, how this Pro-Am event originally wasn't even going to be televised, but there were so many fans who were emailing the organization saying, how can we watch Caitlin? Can we come to the event? Can you live stream it? All of these things. And it ended up being put on television. And that was great. Fans were really excited about that. There was so much buzz online. She was trending on Twitter, all of the things. And the LPGA was promoting the crap out of this event. And they also did something really smart by pairing her up with their currently #1 golfer in the world. And her name is Nelly Korda. So there are photos of Caitlin and Nelly literally everywhere. And the LPGA was so smart in doing this because they knew that there would be so many eyeballs on Caitlin. So if they put their #1 golfer who...
The LPGA laid out the red carpet for Caitlin Clark with course introductions and private jet landings. The WNBA had never been able to get the crowd to roar. In the meantime, WNBA headquarters were shrouded in a thick quiet. Sources claim that Kathy Angelberg summoned an urgent conference with team owners in a panic over this unprecedented player crossover. Everyone's query: if Caitlin, Sophie, and Lexie begin drawing millions of golf fans, what will remain for the WNBA? This quarter, ratings have fallen by 27%, and sponsors are freezing their arrangements. According to an insider who spoke to ESPN, the WNBA might not even make it through 2026 if Caitlin doesn't return.
Having Brianna and Carson joining Caitlin at the Annika is an opportunity for Gamebridge to showcase the variety in our sports sponsorship portfolio. In addition, as partners with the Indiana Fever, we look forward to welcoming Caitlin's teammates Sophie and Lexie to Tampa Bay to elevate and shine a spotlight on women's sports. Gamebridge is the presenting sponsor of the event, once again putting a spotlight on women's sports. The annual LPGA tournament features the world's best female golfers competing for a share of $3.25 million purse and proceeds benefiting the Annika Foundation. For Clark, Hull, and Cunningham, it's a chance to strengthen connections across women's sports while continuing
in all sports for women. Although Caitlin Clark is causing a stir, her goal is tranquility rather than drama. What the WNBA took away, golf gave me. Be respectful. When she told her entourage, it struck a deeper chord than any buzzer beater she had ever made. The majority of fans cited Caitlin Clark as the primary reason for their attendance, and the LPGA has confirmed record pre-sale ticket sales. To see her swing, people are traveling by plane from other states and even other nations. According to insider information, brands have already lined up offers worth more than $100 million. Additionally, there are reports that Caitlin, Sophie, and Lexie are planning their own charity event.
Video of the fans cheering her, signing things, taking photos, their players hanging out with Caitlin, and obviously they're showing their golfers as well. But Caitlin Clark is all over this. And this was the perfect opportunity for the WNBA to do, like, have you seen it when an NBA player or a football player goes to an NBA game or goes...
As the WNBA loses its stars, sports throughout the world are acquiring icons. Everyone is asking themselves this question: will the WNBA career of Caitlin Clark end? Or is something even more significant about to start? After witnessing the love, respect, and billion-dollar focus of golf, why would she go back to basketball? Leave a comment with your ideas. Should Caitlin stick with golf or give the WNBA one more shot? Additionally, if you think that respect is more important than just abiding by the rules, please share this video because this tale has recently taken a drastic turn. At this point, the story expands beyond a single golf tournament. Caitlin Clark has once again demonstrated that excellence is not limited to a certain setting, role, or set of expectations. Few athletes can match the passion, effort, and connection she's shown from the moment she set foot on a basketball court.
There's Caitlin Clark with Nelly Korda, who, was impressed with Caitlin's poise on the golf course last year, even with the crowds, and said she got into women's basketball because of Caitlin. Sophie Cunningham says, Caitlin Clark need a couple of caddies. Lexie Hull with the smiling face or whatever that is and some beer cheers. And Lexie Hull says, sign us up. And you thought that was the end of it, right? At least I did. I did not think we'd be revisiting that. Just felt like the cute little remnants of the Instagram comments section, but it is actually.
And now Caitlin is bringing that same spark and intensity into the realm of golf. It's more than simply a sport, a tournament, or even a crossover event that's causing the reactions we're seeing, the excitement, the wonder, and the joy. It has to do with acknowledgement. Acknowledgement of hard effort, talent, and most importantly, value. Stories are the foundation of sports. Furthermore, Caitlin Clark's journey is swiftly turning into one of those legendary stories that cut beyond national boundaries. She is demonstrating to the world that an athlete may have an influence without being restricted to a particular career, category, or league. Caitlin is demonstrating that excellence comes from the individual, not the surroundings.
Also have the GOAT, Caitlin Clark, bringing Lexie Hull and Sophie Cunningham along for the ride as golf caddies at her golf tournament.
Her mere presence encourages others to see, feel, and genuinely connect, whether they are on the peaceful greens of a golf course or the hardwood of a basketball stadium. Furthermore, it is an attribute that cannot be taught. It requires years of diligence, self-control, and unflinching faith in oneself. Her choice to compete in the LPGA Prom with teammates like Lexie Hull and Sophie Cunningham reveals something much more profound. Harmony.
Now taking her talents to the golf course, where she will join Clark for the Annika Pro-Am tournament next week. Unlike Clark, however, Cunningham will not play in the tournament. She and Fever teammate Lexie Hull have committed to be Clark's guest.
Female athletes become more influential, reach a wider audience, and raise their voices when they encourage one another rather than vying for scant attention. Their cooperation conveys a strong message to young athletes worldwide. Being powerful doesn't need being by yourself. Together, you can climb, shine, and build. That might be the most significant aspect of this situation. The significance of the event, not the event itself. It demonstrates how women's sports are changing. They are no longer constrained. The world is prepared to honor talent, character, leadership, and unadulterated passion in all spheres. Fans have reacted with zeal, excitement, and steadfast support. Furthermore, that support isn't dependent on a single contract, a league, or a brand. It is connected to Caitlin Clark, her narrative, her perseverance, and her spirit. The true question now isn't whether Caitlin Clark will continue to pursue golf or stick with basketball. She is going to redefine it next.
Clark has opened up the opportunity for both Sophie Cunningham and Lexie Hull to be a part of this huge non-basketball event. So again, when you talk about Caitlin Clark opening things up for other people, it's not just on the basketball court. That is the kind of...
The true question is whether we are prepared to help her along the way. Athletes do not become icons by remaining in one location. By developing, changing, learning, and pushing over the boundaries set around them, they become symbols. This chapter is only the start of a larger, more significant, and long-lasting story that is currently being written about Caitlin. One thing is certain, regardless of whether she plays basketball again the following season or keeps constructing this amazing bridge into the world of golf. Millions of people respect, admire, and are loyal to her. Furthermore, respect is considerably more precious than any trophy, honor, or statistic. Respect endures. The following generation is inspired by respect. Let's encourage, honor, and support her as this new chapter develops. A single sport does not determine greatness. It is characterized by the courage with which an individual follows their passion and the profound impact they have on others. I appreciate you watching. We appreciate your support of women's athletics. And never forget that this adventure is just getting started. Remain motivated, remain inquisitive, and encourage the athletes who have the courage to follow their own path, no matter where it takes them.